Silchester, which is one of my happy places. I love it here. It's an amazing Roman ruin, only about 15 miles from where I live, and the walls are a couple of miles long and go round. In the middle is this little church just nestled in the middle of the Roman ruins, and I think it's Norman, goes back to the 1066 and all that. But see where I'm sitting, these are the Roman walls, and I'm quite high up, if you can see, so I have been careful not to wobble over backwards and fall down the Roman walls, which would be quite amusing for everyone, but not for me. I thought this would make a lovely little scene, just to do a quick sketch in monochrome of that church down below, and we'll have a go at that. When you start sketching like this, always sensible just to take a photo in case the light changes or someone comes over or you do fall off the Roman walls. You can always finish it later. Isn't that a beautiful view? It's going to be a quick sketch because, one, it is really quite chilly. It's September at the moment. It's about 12 degrees. It's also very windy, and I'm slightly concerned my iPad is going to blow over, so I've got my foot on the base. Not a most comfortable position. And I thought, rather than doing it landscape, I would do it in portrait. I'm just in my little Lightwish watercolour sketchbook, and I'm using a Stabilo 88 pen, and I thought it would be quite nice to have the church here, the hedges coming across, and then the Roman walls here. That's what I'm aiming to do, and so I'm going to set it really high up and just go straight in with my pen and see where we get to. Oh, already we've got a very lumpy spire, but that will give me the opportunity to show you how with this pen you can easily correct things. So when you're doing a building like this, it's got all sorts of jutting out bits, it's really important to let your eye wander around it and work out where things are relative to each other. You know, are angles straight, flat, what's higher, what's lower, what's going on. And of course you might prefer to do that with a pencil, but as I say, on the grounds that it's really cold, that wind is really quite bitter, then I think I'm going to go straight in with the pen, and if it's all a bit winky wonky, does it matter? I absolutely adore Silchester. A lot of people just don't even know it's here. It's amazing. It's got this Roman amphitheatre, and these are fantastic walls which are a couple of miles long, and you can just wander around them. And so many people who live locally don't even know it's here, which really surprises me. So I'm putting those hedges in, coming across. I'm going to just sort of indicate all those trees that are nestling behind, just so I know what's going on. And then this big bank of trees that comes across there is important because that blocks it off. I'm not going to put this shed in because it just looks like probably where the gravekeeper leaves his tools or something. Doesn't look that interesting. But what I would like to do is move one of these bigger trees that are in the field just over so it's in shot. So we've got the field here. Ooh, some very cooperative sheep seem to have moved into shot. Bless them. I wonder if I could have some sheep in my little picture. And then we've got this hedge coming here, and then we've got the wall coming this way. So I want to get that feeling of this path and the actual Roman wall is here. I'm just sitting with my back to it. I can't get that in, sadly. Let's think about just indicating where the sheep are. Literally, you can only see the backs of all their backs because they've got their heads down eating and they're in very long grass. That is the gist of it. I do realise that all looks a bit mucky at the moment. I'm going to grab a couple of my marker pens. These are water-soluble Tombow dual marker pens. And I seem to have lost a couple of the greys, so they come in grey. This might be a bit dark, but there you go. And just put in a little bit of dark behind here. And there's a darker tree there. And that will help define. You've got to bear with me because at the moment I do know this looks right mucky whatnot, but all will hopefully be revealed shortly. I've got a paler grey, and we can get some of that in. Let's look where the shadows are. The light is very strong, so it's a absolutely gorgeous day, apart from the fact that there's a wind blowing in from the Arctic, but it's lovely. And that's in shadow. Markings across here. Now, if my cunning plan works, I've got a water brush which has got water in, and I'm going to start to blend these colours. The line moves and these and the brush pens move. And you know I said I'd got that wrong? Well, you can see how I've lost the wrong line already, so that's brilliant. So it's actually quite a forgiving way of working. I'm just going to work in monochrome. I'm not putting any colour on here, and I'm picking up the ink and painting with the ink from the pen. Because it's so windy, I think this will probably dry pretty quickly. It's cold but windy, and I will be able to then go back in and work on it. I'm just going to be a bit more careful going round the church so I don't go over that. Okay, so hopefully that, and then let's actually connect some of that down here. Okay, back to my little Stabilo pen. I need to go back in. It will not work on top of damp. So if that is damp, I'm going to simply help that dry off a bit quicker with a bit of kitchen towel. Let's get some of these in. And some of the windows. And we've got a lovely circular window at the end of that bit that's sticking out. I can see some more windows here. Got a couple of arched. See, now it will go on top of that. I want to emphasise this, and that just starts to bring that little church to life there. Wish I'd made that a little bit bigger. And oh, I haven't put the weather vane on top of the church, which is very important. And start to work here. This tree is closer to us, so maybe we'll go into a little more detail very dark under here. Just put those there. That's really rough grass, and I like the way that the different sort of, you've got different directions of the grass going on. Right, let's come here. Let's get some fence posts in. There's a gate down there that might be quite fun, just to indicate this is still a bit damp. And obviously the posts, still too damp. Let's find my kitchen towel again, help that dry off. Everything gets bigger as it comes towards us and further apart. I'm not measuring it because this is a very tumbledy down fence, so it doesn't matter. It's got lots of barbed wire to stop us breaking in, and lots of nettles and long grasses and things like that, so let's get some of that in. This is all sort of sloping down here, and so the path just sort of slopes down this way. This is the palest grey I've got, so put that on there. Let's use maybe this grey. This sort of slopes down like that. Remembering where the sun is. The sun's over here, so we can get some of these posts in. Just do that one. My poor sheep are definitely lost in the long grass. I know they're there. Because they are lost, you can always go sort of darker behind them, and that will make them stand out a bit more. So that's a possibility. As we came to this spot, we saw this really interesting piece of machinery which looks like a robotic grass cutter. I can hear lots of cutting going on in the background, so I'm wondering whether they're going to start the robotic grass cutter up, which would be hilarious. If we got run over by a robotic grass cutter while sketching, it would be quite an accident to have. Sort of lots of grass, sort of dead grasses hanging over. Sort of scribbles and indications of what's going on, and then this is the path itself. So let's just get some direction there. So water brush is really useful when you're out sketching. They can be tricky to use. You saw me struggling to get the water to come out of that, but it's so much easier than trying to bring a pot of water with you, and if you brought your brushes you'd probably end up leaving them behind. So water brush, I think, is the way to go for this sort of thing. Church, and again just working in layers and blending things in, and it gives the impression of complexity without actually doing that. Oh, got a dog walker coming. I was wondering when the dogs would come. we get on. Just darken some of this again. Just go a bit more careful here. Going on there.
Right, if we skip round.
Yes, of course. I'm so sorry if
No,
I
it's
move.
fine. Don't
It's
move.
going to fall over, possibly including me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, thank you so
Really
much.
nice.
It's a nice spot, but blooming cold today, isn't it?
Yes,
That wind
it
is
is.
really
Yeah.
chilly. So I'm doing it very, very quickly.
Yeah. It looks lovely. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Enjoy your walk. It's like, release the hounds. So people are concerned about, I don't know, sketching in public and whether people are going to be nice or not. And people are always nice. Well, not always, but most 9 times out of 10 people are lovely. So just do it. If you've been thinking about doing it, thinking, oh, I'd like to do that, just have a go, because what's the worst that can happen? Go out, explore a new place, have a nice cup of coffee afterwards. You know, you're going to have a great time. So I am fiddling here, and you know, why not? I'm allowed to fiddle a little bit. Oh, look, some gravestones. Let's put those in. I quite like a little more detail going on there, because that is our focal point. But I don't think I need to do much more than that just to capture this little scene. Do take a photograph of what you've been drawing, because say you went home and thought, actually that's really nice and I'd like to do it in a more finished way, or I'd like to turn it into a watercolour or whatever. You've got the different references. You've sat here, you've enjoyed it, you've got the feel of the place, you've got a composition going on, and now you can think, oh, is there something I want to do with that? Oh, sorry, but before I do stop, I've just noticed some lovely sort of hogweed here. So it's September, so lots of dry grasses, and it's quite nice to put something right in the foreground, because that will sort of definitely bring this end forward to us. And you could really have fun just doing a study of all these nettles and dry grasses along the fence if you wanted to. But I am just going to put in that indication. So what I do want to do is indicate more that this is the path going along here. So I'm wondering if I sort of put them just like that. Not sure the lines are quite right, but that will indicate the sort of bare earth areas and the grass. Sorry, I just was holding that pen in my mouth and I'm going to speak with it in. Sheep have totally moved. Would those look like sheep to you? No, they just look like mounds in the field. Oh well, never mind. Oh no, do is just a little indication of something going on the roof there. Just going to put something in here because they were looking more like clouds than the trees behind the church, so maybe put those there just to give an idea of the layers of the trees behind there. There you go. Very quick, very cold study of Silchester Church nestled inside the Roman wall.